Hey everyone, this is Michelle and this is the Bibliophile. Today we're going to be talking about 5 reasons why I love the scriptures version of the Bible. But before we get started, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell and be part of our community. We would love to have you. Okay, 5 reasons why I love the scriptures version, and let's get started. So, number one, I really like that the scriptures version uses the Hebrew names for people and places. So, for example, instead of Judah, you would see Yehuda, or for David, you would see David. For Israel, you would see Yisrael, and so on. So, basically, why I like this is that it is a good reminder that we're reading about and learning about a Hebrew people, a Middle Eastern culture, and it just gives you a really good cultural context for what's going on. So I really, really do like that. And number two, I like that they use the personal four-letter Hebrew name for the Father. It's actually known as the Tetragrammaton, and I'm going to show you right now what that looks like. This right here is 4 Hebrew letters. The letters are Yod, He, Vav, He, and that is known as the Tetragrammaton. It is the 4-letter personal Hebrew name for the Father. And so in this version, instead of the word Lord, you will see the Hebrew name for the Father there. 4-letter shortened version of his name. And again, I like that because it reminds you who we're talking about, that we're talking about the God of the Hebrews, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who were a Hebrew Middle Eastern people. Okay, so I just think that's wonderful. It reminds you that he has a name, a personal name, and he wants us to know it. So I just love that. It's really cool. So where you would normally see Lord, in this version you will see the Tetragrammaton. Very neat. So that was number 2. Now let's go to number 3. I just really like this version overall because it's a nice readable translation. Once you get used to pronouncing the Hebrew names for the places and people, it's actually a really nice readable translation overall, in my opinion. So great for everyday reading. I love it. Now number 4, the tables and the timelines. So they have some tables and timelines for you for weights and measures and things like that. And it's really nice because, like they say here, like you have a cubit, and then in US empirical measurements, it's 17.5 inches. And then in metric versions, it gives you that. So when you're reading about, like, say, how many cubits high and long that the Noah's Ark was, for example, you can kind of use this table and work out the measurements and get kind of a mental picture of how big or how small that object was. So I think it's really handy, and they have different measures and weights and things like that in this table. So really, really neat. Now, also the timelines. For example, here's one of the timeline from Adam to Yaakov, which is Jacob. So basically they just show you how long each person lived, and they line everything up so that you can see like who is alive with who. So for example, here, anybody who is from about here over was alive during the time of Adam. Anyone who is from here over to here, anybody else that fits in that block, would be alive during the time of Yared. So that's basically really helpful just to kind of get a picture of who was around when, and quick reference for like how old they lived and stuff like that. So number 5, the maps. Okay, so the maps are beautiful. Here's one, Abraham's journey from Ur to Canaan. And so it gives you, a look at the path that he took and the area surrounding it. So you can kind of see what that all looks like. Now here we have a map of the 7 assemblies in Revelation, also called Hazan in Hebrew. And it just kind of shows you the location of them and the surrounding area. Beautifully done maps. I thought they were great. So I wanted to share those with you too. Now, I know I've already given you 5, but I have a little bit of a bonus because I thought they were just so cool. I didn't want to leave them out of the video. I want to show you some of the illustrations that they have in the back of the Bible. So here is the camp of Israel. It shows you the layout of the tabernacle in the center and then how the tribes were encamped surrounding the tabernacle, and gives you the scriptures of where it was commanded for them to be laid out in that specific order. So you can go back, you can read it, you can take a look at this map as you're reading and kind of just visualize how the camp was set up. Very, very helpful and very neat. This one is actually showing the layout of the tabernacle itself, the curtains and the columns and the skins covering and what it could possibly have looked like. So very helpful visualization there, and the different articles of the tabernacle they have illustrations for as well. The altars and also the priests' garments and what they might have looked like, the different pieces of those garments, like the linen turban and the breastplate and the linen tunic and all of that stuff, just to kind of give you an idea what that might have looked like as well. So the drawings are really, really beautiful and I think really helpful, and then you can take them, go back and read about, for example, where the priest's garments are talked about, and then you can pull out that image as you're reading and kind of visualize what was actually happening and what they might have looked like once they had all of their priestly garments on. So I think this is a really awesome translation, one of my favorites, and it is available on some web-based Bible search engines. So you can look for it. You usually see it as ISR 98. And I will also put links to Amazon where you can purchase a copy of the scriptures, and also the website for the Institute for Scripture Research, who actually edited and put out this version. I'll put links to those in the description box below so you can check those out if you would like to get yourself a copy. If you have any questions, just let me know. Type in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also remember, test all things and hold fast to that which is good. It's your job to test out everything that you're taught. If you haven't tested out things that you grew up knowing in church, you need to do some research for yourself and make sure that what you were taught was true. Don't just assume. Okay, so test out things, hold fast to that which is good, and I'll see you soon in the Biblical Bibliophile.